Cosplay World. This time around, we're making a full set of armor. There's a ton of things going down. We're breaking this up as cleanly as possible so that each section kind of makes sense as I make it. The even videos, that is to say, this is going to be a 6-part series. So 1, 3, and 5 are going to be available on YouTube for free. But if you're interested in the full tutorial with all the parts, check out finalcosplaycore.com and how to get a subscription and access to all the awesome content there within. Thanks for your support. Bam. Alright, now to actually, what are we doing here? Alright, so we have quite a few different materials working together on this piece. This is going to be Wonderflex, and I'm actually going to be advocating Wonderflex over Warbler in this case. The reason being that Wonderflex has a scrim on the back. It has a mesh. And that mesh is going to be very helpful later on when we're tightening up the laces for fitting. This section is going to be underneath the main armor, and it's going to need to be flexible, but it's also going to need to be durable and be able to hold up to wear and tear. So awesome. This cuts out just the same as Wonderflex with a scissors or a hot knife or whatever you have on hand. It's fairly easy to cut out. And we're also going to be cutting out several strips. One thing I do like about Warble and Wonderflex is that it's very durable to con damage. When you wrap an edge and armor in it, it acts like a bumper or a cushion, and it keeps it from wearing on itself and also keeps it from taking any kind of shock, and that's pretty awesome. So you see here, we're going to be shaping it the same way with the heat gun and forming it over the arm section. Yes. I believe there's a little bit of me shaping the leg section too. But for the rigid section, we're going to be using PVC foam sheet. We're going to be cutting this out with a box cutter, but of course a saw works just fine. And again, for complex curves, a hot knife is also applicable. And just like all the other plastics I use, my typical trick to heating and shaping it is going to be using the heat gun. But for right now, I'm going to cut out a ton of these and layer them over each other. They're simply going to stack on top, and we're going to be later on lacing them together with the purple lace. It's not lace. It's rope. It's like a rope thing. It's purple. Anyway, and that's how it's going to be held together. Additionally, we're going to be mounting that to the Wonderflex panel underneath. And that's how you're going to be able to get in and out, because the Wonderflex is much more flexible. You'll be able to adjust the size. So, not only do we have Wonderflex and PVC sheet, we have craft foam. What are we doing with the craft foam? So, again, the Wonderflex section is going to be flexible, and we're going to need some details on top of that are also going to be flexible. And a nice flexible material is going to be this craft foam, and we're going to create this kind of rocky texture here. And the way we're going to be mounting these two materials together is with a bit of caulk. I believe quick seal is most advocated for, but I believe this is just regular bathroom and tile caulk, and we're simply putting down a ton and fitting the pieces in. I'm trying to get kind of a mosaic spacing thing going. They're not kind of just randomly placed. There are lines and paths in the spacing. However, the trick is getting enough caulk in there that they stick on and they're durable and they won't eventually pull off, but not so much that it comes through in the texture. We're looking for, I guess, a kind of charcoalish. It's very, very weird. I'm not sure exactly how to describe this texture in the armor here. Yeah, it's just regular old caulk for a caulk gun. The thing about this is I don't use a whole ton, so you saw me go in with the Super Obscure and kind of unplug it. I don't It's not super efficient to use the whole thing of caulk. That's why the little tubes of quick seal are nice, but the tubes of caulk are pretty cheap too. One thing I will recommend you not do is handle caulk with your bare hands like I have been. Yeah, you might want to wear gloves. Okay, so we've come back and we based the armor in brown for the gold sections and black for the purple sections. These are just our primer colors. And we're going to go around, and the trim that we added from Warbler, we're going to highlight that and add the gold. The purple, this is all acrylic paint, by the way, that we're adding here. And we're going to be bringing out the details. The mask is one of the more elaborate works, but we're not going to go into that into this piece. All the armor sections are fairly simple panels, and I guess the only trick that we are going to be doing with the purple is bringing in a bit of wash, a bit of light blue wash to give it a patina. So once the purple has dried and the gold has dried, we're going to water down a bit of the light blue. It's very baby blue, and we're gonna put that in over the purple sections. It's going to have a ununiform texture to it, and it's also going to pool near the edges where the Warbler is attached. Sorry, Wonderflex. I mixed them up so easily, thus highlighting those edges and creating a more interesting look. Next we're gonna, well, I painted all this up before it was all attached because the panels are all layered together, and so if I try and paint it after it's all assembled, it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. So in the interest of getting the inside and all the edges and without the paint kind of scratching itself as it dries, I'm allowing each piece to dry before we start assembling it. So here we have a bit of the inner arm section, the Warbler. Wait, I had it right the first time. Wonderflex, the Wonderflex section. And what we're going to need to do is put a little trim on there. I waited until the black was fully painted because I wanted to make sure that that was on before we started adding the details. And that was also me making sure that the caulk was totally 100% sealed and that the pieces wouldn't flake off. So it was a little bit later in the project when I started adding that trim. And the rest of the trim on the armor is done in the same way. You simply heat it up and add it as an accent. I believe I'm going to go into the lacing. The lacing is done up by drilling several holes in there and linking it through the back to the front panel. The piece is also linked through the arm section and anchored there as well with hot glue in a lot of cases. The actual expense here was quite significant. There were, I don't know, about 10-12 yards of lace just because it kept going in and out underneath the piece. So once this is done, I believe I'm going to go back and paint that extra ridge on the arm piece just to clean it up. And I do have to kind of open up the holes a little bit here and there, a bit wider, just because lacing up the rope there, as you work with it, it undoes itself. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So just to make my job a little easier, I opened the hole a bit wider. Okay, so next time we're going to work on the shoulder section, and I'm going to go into more detail on the mask I showed earlier. I hope you guys enjoy. There's a ton of more things here. Thanks for watching. Good times to all. Hurrah! Hey, if you like this video, check out finalcosplay.com for the second part. See you there.